Money Vikings, welcome back. Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. One of the biggest sort of ideas or lessons that I take out of Thanksgiving is the biggest wealth building lesson of all is gratitude. And I really firmly believe that. But I'm gonna talk about a couple things in this video. I'm gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna talk about Bitcoin. I'm gonna talk about kind of where things are things are looking over the next 12 months in terms of investing. But yes, the biggest thing I want to say about Thanksgiving is that it is a total reminder to practice gratitude, because I don't just say that. It's not just a cliche or sort of it sounds kind of fluffy, and people are like, oh, what do you, true wealth, wealth, gratitude, what's that all mean? But it's really true, because I'll give you an example. I have met, and you probably know, people in your life that might have all the material luxuries or money in the world, which is all great, but for some reason they're not happy people. They're not. I don't know what it is. Like, maybe there's just a constant trying to get the next thing, and there's never a satisfaction with, or sort of a connection to what they have, and a gratitude for the blessings in their life. And I think Thanksgiving is a good example of having a moment to take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about the blessings you have and have some gratitude for them. So looking both ways, don't get hit. So with that, hope you had a nice Thanksgiving, and I hope you are practicing gratitude, because it's absolutely one of the pillars of true wealth at Money Vikings that we've talked about over the years. It's absolutely one of the pillars. And so on the flip side of that, I've known people of very modest means, very simple, sort of simplified life, and they could not be happier with the everyday joys that they find gratitude in. This doesn't mean that we're happy all the time or feel ecstatic. Life isn't like that, right? Every human has their ups and downs, and every person has their challenges. But if there's a way to practice gratitude, to train the gratitude muscle, is how I would say it. You want to train that muscle, train that thinking, that mode of thinking, so that you're really practicing gratitude as much as possible. I think it will make a person's life much better, much wealthier. So that's that. Okay, where do we see markets going? Onto the financial side of things, where do we see markets going in the coming year? What it appears to be happening, it appears that we are going to be entering a kind of melt up in the short run. So it seems that all assets are probably going to be rising in the short run. So US equities, S&P 500, etc., Bitcoin, alt season is starting, etc. So all of that is going to continue to rise in value for the short run, for the foreseeable future. So really nothing to be concerned about there. I'm going to do some strategic, you know me, I'm all about portfolio construction. I think that's where the focus should be, versus individual stocks, getting in and out of them, or individual cryptocurrencies. I think the focus seriously needs to be overall portfolio construction. If you look at the Callum tables, you really never know from year to year what's going to be the asset class that rises the most. It can actually be a bit random, so it will surprise you at times. Listen, remember that 2 years ago you had a bunch of billionaires and others saying that the market was going to crash any moment, and 2 years later it's up 50%. So I feel very bad for the people that would have listened to the doomsayers and totally changed their portfolio. Now, I can see some nibbling at the edges. I can see some minor adjustments here and there. But again, I don't want to be in a position where I'm making radical changes out of fear. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But beyond that, I would say adding some small cap ETF exposure, some international. Those two seem to be some good moves given the new administration, what's coming. I'm going to do some consumer fundamentals, kind of consumer staples type stuff. I don't see inflation. So shifting topics now from investing a little bit, I don't see inflation. The prices of things aren't really coming down anytime soon. So maybe in the medium term, maybe in the long run, but not in the short run. I don't see that happening. So I still think inflation defense systems are going to be critical. And beyond that, Bitcoin, I'm still going to be somewhat cautious. And I'm not saying, I have bumped my allocations up maybe around 5% from what used to be about more of a 2%. But I don't personally feel comfortable with anything over that. I feel like anything over that could be uncomfortable for me. I don't want to lose. So for me, crypto is still going to be volatile. So it's not going to be your steady, Schwab dividend investment fund or VDADX or VIG that we like to talk about, or a Realty Income, where you're going to just see this very, sort of slow, steady uphill kind of move with a little bit of corrections down. We're going to see ups and downs quite a bit. So you got to keep that in mind. So yeah, so there's that. So, still doing that. Alt season seems to be coming around. So that's there are these sort of cycles that are starting to appear in crypto. And it seems that Bitcoin does really well, and then the altcoins start to follow at some point. So that's something that I'm gonna keep an eye on and maybe add some positions to. Macro level stuff, trying to think here, real estate wise, we're not going to see any prices come down too quickly, because again, we have a fundamental supply and demand problem. And, the supply of housing just can't keep up with the demand. But hopefully over time, we'll build more housing and more density will be put in, and that will maybe, help the issue over time. So anyway, that's my Thanksgiving message. Hope you had a great one. Again, gratitude, family, friends, do the best you can, come together, be kind to each other, and do the best you can with investing every day. That's all we can do. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Appreciate it. See you guys.